Hey, okay. I've gotten some questions about teen stuff lately, and since I have that beta group coming out, I really wanted to jump on here and address some of those, okay? Um, there's two questions in particular that I get quite a bit. Number one is about things you can do at home, and specifically about different filters and things like that. I do talk about filters a lot with parents, with teens. Sometimes we talk about them, just helping them understand actually the mentality behind a filter and what a filter actually is. Okay. And then the second one that I kind of want to talk about really quick is a little bit of the emotional side of a teen. Okay. Because I think there's some misconceptions here. Um, and it's not like an awful thing, by the way. It's just something that we need to look at, okay? So number one, when it comes to filters, okay, filters are not going to solve your problem. Okay, I'm gonna say this very open and very honestly. Filters, do I believe in them? Yeah, I do. But I also only in them as one line of defense, okay? It is a helpful line of defense, absolutely. Um, but filters, a lot of times they actually come in handy the younger the children are versus the older the children are, okay? There are so many ways to get around filters, okay? There really are. So don't be shocked when your kids start figuring those out, unfortunately. And if they can't figure them out at home, don't be shocked when they're figuring them out in other places, okay? At school, friends, at the library, wherever it is, that's very, very common. Um, the question that I get asked a lot then is like, I kind of see two different perspectives on filters for parents, okay? Number one is like filter everything, filter everything. We shut it all out, okay? The other side is I don't believe in filters because that takes away my child's agency. Um, I don't actually agree with either of those. And if that's your belief, that's okay. All right. I'm not saying any of those are wrong. I'm just sharing what I've seen and learned. Okay. Um, I do believe there are things that you need to protect your family from. Absolutely. But how I see a lot of parents reacting to this side is if their kids see something, they freak out. You guys, our reactions as parents are really, really important. Okay. Our children do internalize those. Okay. They understand how that makes them feel. And as a reaction of how they feel, they are going to make a choice to either avoid it, they're going to hide it. They may come and talk to us about it depending on how they internalize that reaction. Okay. Um, and again, that kind of goes into the emotional side. That's why I'm doing these two together. Okay. But when it comes to trying to get everything out of your home that is negative, like go for it. By all means, please do that. Try to keep your home as clean as it can be. But recognize that if something happens, you just need to have a conversation about it. Okay. This isn't about freaking out. It's not about tearing them down. It's not about shaming them. Okay. You can't shame somebody into repentance or shame them out of a desire. It doesn't work that way. Okay. So when it comes to the close it all down, protect at all costs, I do think that is so one way to do it. Okay. Jared and I do have filters. We set those together. Um, it's helpful. Okay. It is. It protects my children. It protects Jared and I just from an added measure of temptation and different things, whether that's me wasting my time or with pornography or with just whatever it may be. Okay. It could be shopping sometimes. Okay. Amazon is a filtered item in our home a lot of the times. Okay. There are things that we can do that actually help. Filters do help. They help protect our family. They help protect us individually. They help protect our marriage. I think they're a really good tool. We just have to recognize there needs to be a very, very consistent and open conversation about them and why we have them. Okay. When we're trying to control a situation out of fear, this is a really tricky spot. Okay. We don't have to be afraid that Satan is out there. We already know that. Okay. But we do continue to protect. That is part of being a good steward in your home is some layer of protection. Okay. So when we have these things that we are consuming by, if it is all out of fear, That's where a lot of the freak out actually comes from. Okay. Fear equals freak out. Kind of look at that and wonder if when you're having a reaction to something, see if maybe your reaction, a lot of it is coming out of fear. Okay. That can be a really positive thing to actually recognize. And then you can go forward with different types of communication. But layers upon layers is totally fine. Okay. We just need to make sure that we are treating the layers upon layers respectfully, and that our children understand what a filter is and why we have them and what types of things long term could come as a result of maybe not having a filter. Okay. When it comes to the other side, the agency side, this one is really, really interesting to me for a couple of different reasons. I see that side also. Like, yes, we do need to teach our children to use their agency responsibly. But just because I am trying to teach my child who is 4 responsibility doesn't mean I leave them in the kitchen with the stove on alone. Okay. There's these things that really happen that we do need to have some layer of protection. Again, that communication needs to be there on both sides, no matter which side of that coin you pick. Okay. But developmentally, know that as a parent, it's also our responsibility to developmentally, wherever our kid is on that scale, provide appropriate opportunities for them to experience agency in a way that they are able to actually manage. Okay. So I am not going to let my 8-year-old have free reign of the internet. I'm not, because developmentally, he doesn't understand some of those long-term consequences of what he could find. Okay. See this a lot with pornography. Okay. We see this a lot with different habits. Okay. Super there. Online gaming is a big one I see really young with kids. Okay. There's a lot of different things that kids can fall into online. And on YouTube, how much can I find on YouTube, you guys? Okay. There's a lot of things that we have to be very, very careful with. So I am very much under the belief that as a parent, it is our responsibility to provide an appropriate developmental level of opportunity to utilize agency in our home. Okay. Our job is to teach our children about their agency. Part of that is to teach them about the long-term consequences of what their agency could produce. Okay. So I'm not a fan of completely shutting down the world. I think we miss a lot of really good opportunities for other things that are good and opportunities to teach our children. But I absolutely do believe in filters. We use them in our home. Okay. I am also not a fan of no filters, my child's agency. Developmentally, they need some help, even if they don't like that. Okay. And a lot of times, actually, it's interesting because I see this battle with both sides of that. We choose to go to one side or the other because going to the other would be really inconvenient. Okay. As a parent, is it sometimes really inconvenient for me to have to go into my app, change the permission settings, allow a website so Jared can do his job or I can do mine? Yeah, for a whole 2 minutes, I'm inconvenienced. Okay. But just because I have to be inconvenienced, it is not enough of a reason for me to also not be protecting my family. On the other side, it is really inconvenient for me to filter out so many things. Okay. Are there sites that are actually really good and useful and helpful? Yeah, there are. Okay. Are there opportunities in movies and things for me to have a good conversation with my child? Yeah, there are. Okay. But I also, when I put those filters on, they're not out of a place of fear. Okay. They're out of a place of recognizing that this is actually what's right for my family and developmentally appropriate for the state that my family is in. Okay. This, I'm going to flip over to the emotional side. Okay. As I'm talking to teens and working with teens a lot, that's one of their big things. It's like, why do my parents even have filters? I just get around them. They do. They find other ways, a friend's phone, the library. Like I said, there's other ways for them to do this. So this is why I say filters are a good defense. They cannot be the only defense. Okay. I've heard that quite a few times. Well, we have filters. Why is this a problem? because it's only one level of defense. Okay. The emotional side of teens is where so much of the struggle comes from. I mean, if you're a parent of teens, it's a struggle a lot of times. Okay. There's very few parents that I've ever talked to that are like, oh, my teen is perfect. And the ones that they think are perfect are the ones who are talking to me about all the ways that they're struggling and not communicating with their parents oftentimes. Okay. Not every situation. There is always every possible scenario that there can be. Okay. But I do talk frequently to teens who are like, my parents think I'm perfect. This would shatter them. That to me says, okay, parents emotionally, we might not be in a place that we can communicate with our teen about some really hard issues that they're figuring out. Okay. I know that's crass. That is something I get a lot of pushback on. Like, no, this is all my teen. It's not all our teen. Okay. All of us play a role in this. Remember, relationships, your relationship with yourself influences your relationships with others. Okay. Is there a reason that your teen is struggling? Yeah, there is. Usually it's a very internal issue. Okay. And so when it comes to these emotions for the teens, it's really, really interesting to me because so many teens want to talk to their parents, but they don't feel like they can trust their parents. Okay. This is a huge issue in society. I think Satan is doing a really good job at attacking the family in that way. Okay. A lot of that distrust comes from a past reaction, though. Okay. So if Tiancum stole something, let's say, okay, my 8-year-old, if he steals something and I freak out on him, if that ever happens again, is he going to want to come to me? Do you like going to people who are screaming at you? No, it doesn't make us feel good. Okay. So when it comes to this emotional side of teens, again, I often hear like, oh, my teen is struggling really bad with this. My teen is so emotional all the time. Like all of these different things. And sometimes you really do just need a few tools, and it is that simple. Okay. On the reverse side, though, for the teen, it does not feel that simple. There is so much that they are trying to experience that it's really hard. I actually want to read you guys a text from one of the teens that I've gotten to hang out with quite a bit lately. I was just thinking about her yesterday and I texted her and let her know that. And this was her response. Okay. I literally love you so much. Thank you for saying that. And all I did, this is all I said was, hey girl, I know it's late because I texted her last night. I said, but I've just been thinking about you today. Hope you're doing all right. Okay, response again. Beth, I literally love you so much. Thank you for saying that. As a dramatic teenager, sometimes I think I'm invisible to people. So thank you for thinking about me. Guys, that is a very, very common text message. Okay. It is. They don't feel seen in their homes. They don't feel seen at church. They don't feel seen in their friend group. They don't feel seen at school. The adversary really is working so hard on them. Okay. They have so much emotion that they don't understand trapped inside those bodies. Okay. And they are really just trying sometimes. Do we always agree with the way they're trying? No. But do we even stop to recognize that maybe that's a way that they're trying? Oftentimes, no. Okay. One of the things that I get a lot with teens often is like, well, one of the questions I ask, what's your interaction like when you come home? Because again, they're not trusting their parents. They're not trusting their siblings. They're not trusting church leaders. They're not trusting really even themselves or anyone else. So there's a lot of dissonance going on. Okay. But well, what are your reactions like when you go home? Hey, you forgot to do the dishes. Go do that. You didn't do the dog poop again. You need to go do that right now. Like, I've told you a million times to go clean your room. There's no like, hey, Jake, how was your day? Hey, Sarah, I'm so glad you're home. Okay. So when we're having these conversations at home, like it's not really a shock to me that these kids are really struggling with feeling like they have a relationship. Okay. Another one that I hear a lot is like, I just want to talk to my mom, but she doesn't even have 20 minutes to talk to me because she's always going off to help someone else, or she's always has her phone when we're talking and is checking her phone. Okay. In these situations, again, you guys, we put so much of our child's emotional state on them, and we want it to be better because it's inconvenient for us to have an emotional child. Okay, at my house, we are in very emotional stages right now. Like some days, I feel like I'm losing my mind over how many emotions go around my house. Okay. And I don't even have a teenager at my home yet. Okay. So, and in working with these teens and having 26 nieces and nephews now, who many of them are teenagers, and having these experiences coaching teens, like you guys, emotions can get really big. And as an adult, we're like, dude, chill out. They don't know how to translate all of the emotion they have in their body. Okay. To them, it is a lot of energy that they don't know how to handle. So some shut down. Welcome to depression and anxiety in your teens. Okay. Depression, the shutdown. Anxiety, the freak out about everything. Like, you guys, there are a lot of very, very common socially accepted health titles for mentality stuff. And a lot of it, you guys, if we can teach these teens to really learn to sit with their emotion. I don't know a lot of adults who actually like to do that. That's why I coach a lot around emotional development for adults too, okay? It's not comfortable to sit with the uncomfortable. It's not, okay? They're not taught to do that anymore. They learn very young to cope in ways that may not be really healthy, okay? Am I against video games? No. But I am against the unhealthy use of video games, okay? Am I against friends? No, I need people, okay? But if friends are how I am learning to cope because I am avoiding what I'm struggling with because of friends, you need to look at that, okay? It is so interesting because like these emotions, they learn that emotions are actually bad because they're not taught how to handle their emotions. They're not even taught what emotions are, okay? So when it comes to emotional regulation, when we can work on understanding emotions and how to regulate our emotions in a healthier way and how it all makes sense up here, then coping mechanisms, you guys, the need for coping mechanisms goes way down. Okay, it does, especially unhealthy ones. Okay. And so there's this huge thing with emotional regulation and using the internet, you guys, these filters and things like that. Using a filter, again, if we're not using that as an opportunity to teach our children, then we actually can create a lot of damage to those relationships because it feels like they don't trust you. It feels like you'll never be allowed to be an adult. It feels like all of these other things that they're not managing well already. Okay. Just like if they come home, teens need and they want a safe space. They do. And if they're coming home and feeling like, well, what's the point of being home? Like, it's no different than being at school. Like, why would I want to be home? Okay. They need a safe space to really learn to dive into those emotions. But if we as adults, if it's always inconvenient for us to have an emotional child, okay, some phases are naturally more emotional. They are. Okay. Some personality types are naturally more emotional. It's not a bad thing. And if we're wanting to change our child out of inconvenience, they feel that. They really do. Okay. I hear that all the time, unfortunately. Like, well, my mom just doesn't want to do this because it would take time away from XYZ. Or my mom doesn't have time to talk to me. She always is busy with this. Or, well, she likes my sister more. So why would she hang out with me? Okay. These conversations, you guys, are very, very regular. that I'm hearing about. Okay. These teens are communicating. Okay. There's a lot that goes into this. That's why I have this teen beta group, because I really, 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 this is important for your teens. Okay. This is an investment in your teens. You guys, this is a generational investment. It really is. Okay. Is it inconvenient for you to help your teen? Sometimes. Yeah, sometimes it is. Okay. I heard one mom who said, like, I've actually heard this from quite a few moms, like, my teen always wants to talk to me late at night, and I am so tired. I just want to go to bed. It is hard as a parent. Okay. I want to go to bed. I have a late night talker. Okay. And I'm exhausted. Like, I am not a late night person. I am a wake up at 5 a.m. and I'm fine. Do not keep me up till 10 sometimes. Okay. But that is their time and my time to build trust with them. So for a while, yeah, as a parent, I'm going to be inconvenienced because I'm building that relationship with my child. I'm also taking the opportunity to help that child build a relationship with themselves, with their Heavenly Father. Okay, I can see this in the car sometimes. Parents are like, I never have time to talk to my kids. We're always going somewhere. Well, what are you doing with the time in the car? Well, we're always listening to music. I love music, but I also know that that time that I have in the car, maybe that's the only time I'm going to have with my kid that day. Okay. As a teen myself, I was busy, like 5 a.m. till 10:30 p.m. almost every night, like Monday through Friday. And then I was usually in a tournament or something on Saturday, and then babysitting that night to help pay for sports. Okay. I was gone. Church stuff, I was usually in some form of a presidency. I was Bishop's Youth Council. I had a fireside. Like, I was gone. I was. And I felt invisible. As busy as I was, I felt invisible. Okay. My mom really did try so hard to put little plugs in there all the time. Okay. Did I always see things the way my mom saw them? No. No, I didn't. But did I always appreciate the little effort that she did put in? Yeah, I did. And so did my friends. It was like the craziest thing to me that I never realized until I was much older. But I still remember the friends, like my freshman year, I was going to a volleyball game and my mom brought bread and we had fresh bread on the way to our volleyball game. I had friends talk about that for years. They were like, oh, I wish my mom would this. Like, you guys, that to me, that didn't even cross my mind as a big thing. My mom made bread like every week, sometimes multiple times a week. Okay. Making bread was like therapy for my mom. I grew up on fresh bread. But like, that never occurred to me that that might actually be a really, really important way of showing love for me as a teen. I didn't really see my mom a lot. It was literally like she would hand it to me as I got on the bus. I would give her a hug and that was it. But that was a way that my mom made sure that I knew that she loved me. Okay. This is so independent to you and your child. It is a hard thing to figure out sometimes. Just like it is a hard thing for them to figure out their emotions. They're mad, they're sad, they're happy, they're erupting, and they're super depressed all within 2 minutes. Okay. There's so much energy in their body that they are just trying to figure out. And it really can be fun to watch them learn and grow through this. Okay. It was really, really fun to see different people who were nervous about going on missions. Like, it would make them want to throw up just thinking about going on a mission, excited to go on missions. Okay. It's really exciting to see kids who are struggling with these coping mechanisms like vaping and pornography. Okay. With so many eating disorders. You guys, the number of these coping mechanisms really are, it's outrageous. Like new ones keep coming. But watching things fall into place for them and seeing those emotional connections, like, oh, that's why I do that. Oh, that's why I don't want to talk to my mom. Oh, that's where I fight with my dad. Seeing these types of connections being made, you guys, is so fun. It is so fun for me as a coach. Okay. You guys, emotional filters, okay, physical filters, they happen. Okay. We need both. We do need to learn to filter our emotions and pick which ones are healthy and which ones can stay, even if they're maybe not a happy emotion. Just like with filters online. Okay. You need to figure out which ones are good and which ones can stay. They're both filters. It's just another level of defense. Okay. But as we heal and as we help our teens understand on an internal level who they are, what they are, and why they are, it really is so liberating for these kids. Okay. Because they are learning and building a foundation that a lot of them have never had before. And that's not anybody's fault. Okay. There are things that they did not know when I was a teen that they know now. Okay. There's science, there's different tools, there's resources and things like that. Okay. It's nobody's fault that you have a moody teenager. It just means we're all still learning, including yourself and including your teen. Okay. So when it comes to this program, the one that I have the beta group out for that I'm trying to put online right now, you guys, I'm super excited for that. Okay. I'm excited because we're going back to the foundation. So much of coaching is from the healing inside out. It might take 6 weeks, might take 10 weeks, might take 3 months for them to keep practicing and utilizing these tools. But these kids, guys, they are incredible. They are so special. And they want so badly to be seen and to feel loved and to feel heard. So much of that heart that they're experiencing is because they don't understand here or here. That is what we deal with in this course. Okay, that is what we are helping these teens to learn. It's a whole new side of their identity, one that's not broken. It's not an inconvenience. It's just them learning. Okay, if you have any other questions, I've been getting some questions. Drop me a message. It's okay. Okay, we can chat. I can chat with your teen. I've done that quite a few times recently. Actually, I've been talking to the parent and the teen. So the parent knows exactly what we're doing in the program and the teen decides if they're going to do it or not. That's okay too. Okay, I would rather have that there. I want the parents to know what's going on. Okay, I am never afraid to show you guys the inside of this program. That's why I've put chapters up. Okay, it's okay. I can do that for the teen workbook too. It's really fun. But just know this program, it is for them, but not just for them now. It's for them next year and in 5 years and in 10 years. Because when you know yourself, when you are in alignment with your intuition, that divine tie to your Heavenly Father, whole new life opens up for you. Okay? And it is so exciting to watch. It really is. Okay, so if you have any questions, DM me. Schedule that consult call. Okay? I am more than happy to talk to the parents and to the teen if that's what you want. Okay, I'm excited for the people we have in this course. It's going to be a really fun beta group. I'm excited. We're gonna laugh, probably cry a little bit. That usually happens in these classes. We'll dig into some things, but it's a safe space to grow. And I am more than happy to show you that. Okay, we'll talk soon.